When you were in school, did you ever think that you'd be back here campaigning for the presidency?
Definitely not. I'm Asian, and the list of things that your parents want you to be stops at doctor and lawyer.
And yet, here we are, on the trail in New Hampshire. Whether his folks want him to or not, Andrew Yang is running for president.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm doing this because we need to wake America up to the fact it's not immigrants, it's technology that's changing our economy in fundamental ways. We need to evolve and adapt as soon as possible.
Most Americans haven't heard of Andrew Yang. So, who is this guy and where did he come from? He's a 44-year-old father of two from New York, a corporate lawyer who became CEO of a multi-million-dollar test prep company, a Democrat who supports Medicare for all. Oh, and he wants to give you free money.
Everyone gets $1,000 a month. Forever. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Congress and say, hey guys, you know what happened? They elected the Asian man who wants to give everyone money, so it's dividend time.
25% of American jobs are at high risk of being wiped out by automation, and it could get much worse. Andrew Yang's solution? Universal basic income. This is his signature pitch. He calls it the freedom dividend because he says that polls better among conservatives. It's a stipend of $1,000 given to every American over 18 once a month. No strings attached.
If you were to put $1,000 a month in their hands, they use it in the most positive and beneficial way possible. And that's something that families are in better position to know than the government.
Do you see any downsides to universal basic income, though? I mean, there's always the fear that it'll disincentivize work.
It's actually pro-work, because if everyone here had $1,000 a month to spend, they'd spend it on car repairs and tutoring for their kids and the occasional night out. And it also helps broaden our definition of what work is. My wife's at home with her two boys, one of whom is autistic. That counts as zero in GDP and zero in the marketplace. The freedom dividend actually starts to reward and compensate some of the vital work that we're already doing in our communities, often done by women.
Something like this hasn't really been attempted nationwide. But Alaska's experimented with a smaller scale UBI program since the 80s. People seem to really benefit from it, and they're not necessarily working less because of it. So how does Yang plan to pay for UBI across the country? Tax big corporations that are automating away American jobs.
The trap America's in right now is that 30% of malls are going to close because Amazon's just sucking up $20 billion in commerce every year. Being a truck driver is the most common job in 29 states, and the trucks are going to start driving themselves. So we need to put the American public in position to actually harness the gains from all these new innovations. And the best way to do that is to join every other advanced economy in the world and implement a value-added tax.
For now, he's putting his own money where his mouth is.
Oh my gosh, the Fossies! What's up? Give me a hug.
Chuck and Jody Fossey are the first to test out Yang's freedom dividend. After Chuck Fossey lost his job, Yang offered him a buffer of $1,000 a month out of his own pocket.
It's definitely a stress relief off our shoulders to have this extra money.
So 2017 was a rough year.
Yeah, that was a rough year. I worked for the same company for 13 years, and I was a manager, and I kind of lost my job abruptly and wound up in the hospital for some psychiatric care.
When you got the call right before Christmas, we were stunned. We were in shock. My husband actually started crying because he's like, there's got to be like somebody more deserving than us.
Most deserving, you know, we weren't the poorest family in New Hampshire, you know what I mean?
Do you feel like Andrew Yang has earned your vote?
I think so.
If it gets to that point.
About it, I mean, in the beginning, it's like I didn't really know much about him. He didn't even tell us what we, to spend the money. It was like kind of no strings attached. You know, I'm running for president, but you don't have, I'm not looking for your support. So the more I kind of look into what he kind of believes in, I feel like, yeah, I probably will wind up voting for him.
According to a Gallup poll from 2017, 48% of Americans are into the idea of universal basic income, with more support coming from Democrats. Yang's hoping he can take it even further into the mainstream.
I'm now polling nationally, and most people, like you said, have never heard of me, so we can see the growth every day. We can see in the reactions we're getting here in New Hampshire, but we're just going to keep on rising. We're going to peak at the right time.
That right time might be right now. And this is where a pretty standard profile piece on a presidential candidate who seemed like a long shot takes a really unexpected turn. Since Andrew and I spoke in New Hampshire, he's kind of become internet famous.
Well, Andrew, good Good luck to you. I think your message is excellent.
Started with this interview on the Joe Rogan Experience, a top-ranked podcast made for fringe thinkers like Andrew. And now,
Yang Gang 2020.
all of a sudden, Yang's found himself a loyal fan club. They call themselves the Yang Gang.
Yeah.
They make Yang Gang songs, Yang Gang hats, Yang Gang beach towels, and tons of Andrew Yang memes. There are references to anime, securing the bag or money, and an appreciation for his libertarian Milton Friedman-esque ideas. What do you make of this crazy loyal internet following that you have now?
We're really excited about it. The Yang Gang is growing all the time online, so we're thrilled.
But there are some fans Yang isn't down with, at all. And they're coming from the same toxic corners of the internet that produce racist and anti-Semitic pro-Trump propaganda. Andrew Yang has more traffic on 4chan than any other presidential candidate. White nationalists like Richard Spencer are throwing shade at Trump and getting behind Yang instead. And even WikiLeaks signaled Yang might be winning the political meme war against Trump. Does it surprise you at all that you have support within the alt-right, considering that you are a progressive Asian American?
Yeah, it's both surprising and mystifying. We've been very clear about our values and what I stand for, and as the son of immigrants, we don't welcome anyone who has any sort of other agenda of hate or racism to be associated with a campaign, but anyone who holds those ideologies represents like a microscopic proportion of the people that are excited about my campaign.
So how did this happen? How did Andrew Yang, the leftist son of Taiwanese immigrants, become this unlikely hero of the alt-right? Well, for one thing, automation looks bleak for lower-income white Americans. And the alt-right feels like Yang is one of the only politicians coming up with real solutions.
I talk to a lot of Trump voters, and many of them have said to me, I voted for Donald Trump, and I like you because you're an outsider, you're trying to solve the problems, and I'm going to vote for you. So I'm going to get my share of Trump voters, conservatives, independents, and libertarians. We can unite the country around this idea of a dividend.
He's now over the threshold of 65,000 individual donations, meaning he could actually qualify for the Democratic primary debates. All this out-of-the-box thinking, it has gotten Yang into an awkward position. But it might be enough to launch him out of obscurity and into the spotlight.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.